Welcome to Collecting Chaos. In this episode, I'm going to give you an update on the Superboy comic, well, the adventure comic that I was working on that features Supergirl. I tried something new on it before I put it back together, and I haven't actually put it back together. And it worked. Unfortunately, there was some problems with it, and I've got to do some more work to it now. But I did get the water stains almost completely eliminated from the cover. And the cover just looks amazing right now. And I'll show you all of that before the video ends. I have a few Captain America I'm going to show you from my collection, and I'm going to show you a few recent pickups. I've got more comics that have come in than I can possibly show you in one video. I bought a long box. Got a really couple of decent runs of things. And I've got some older stuff, and I'm going to show you some of the older stuff I picked up. Some of it's already in Mylar, some of it isn't. And we'll go through that. So if that sounds like the kind of thing you're interested in watching, you might want to stick around a little while. But while waiting for that, while my intro rolls, go ahead and go wash your hands. Be right back. As you can see, the cover looks a whole lot better. It's a lot cleaner. Unfortunately, during the process of cleaning it, I had complete separation of the front and back cover, so I'm going to have to repair that. You can still see the stain, but it's very light. It's nowhere near as dark as it was, and I'm happy with that. I mean, that's really what I was going for. I knew I'd never get rid of it completely, but now I'm starting to think that it might be possible. It might be possible. And here's what I did. I submerged the cover in distilled water. Yeah, I know some of you are already screaming, "No!" and tearing your hair out. Unfortunately, I didn't have the proper tools to bring it back out of the water, and that's why the cover tore. That's why, because it was already split down to here, and it's just it split the rest of the way. I'm not too concerned with that. What I am happy with is the fact that it did actually fade the majority of the water stains to the point where I can live with it. And I think it actually added quite a bit of moisture to the cover, because the cover's a lot more supple than what it was. So I'm going to have to put it together. And what I have here is I have a piece of extruded polystyrene and an old backing board. And what I'm going to try to do is line them up so that everything is right, and then take these push pins and put them right along the edge of the comic to hold it in place while I work on it. Let's see, I have these in the corner. I'm probably going to put one in the center here where the staple holes are. That won't put a hole in the comic, but because the staples already have holes there. And it's not I mean, the comic was in fair condition. When I repair it, it'll still be in fair condition. I'm not too concerned with it. Did I ruin the comic? Some people might think so. But here's the thing. When I did this, it was an experiment. And the whole thing has been an experiment. From the very first From the very beginning, it's all been an experiment. Would I recommend this to people? Not unless you have the right equipment. I am working on getting what I need. I need a larger tub, obviously, to submerge things in. You cannot use the distilled water more than once. That distilled water went from nice and clear to tan in just the 2 minutes that I had the comic submerged. And I need something that I can lower the comic in and take the comic out in one piece so that it doesn't fold over. And that's a big deal. I've got a split there that I want to fix. Now let's see. Here's one of the staple holes, so we'll put a pin right there. And the only reason I'm doing this on the polystyrene is so that I can have a base to put these in. And now I'm ready to start taping. I'm going to do all of this off camera, and then I will reattach it to the comic, give it a quick press, show it to you at the end of the video. Right now, let's get into some Captain America. All right, Captain America. We'll start with number 251. And these are more of those ones that I got in that big collection. Off-white pages. John Byrne art. $252. Again, creamed off-white pages, John Byrne pencils. Roger Stern wrote. $253. And these are from 1981. Yeah, January 1981. And here, John Byrne is credited as writer and co-plotter. Along with Stern. 254. I have two copies. I have a ratty newsstand copy. And when I say ratty, I'm not joking. It looks like it's got food or something on there. Guess I need to clean that off. And then this one is a nice copy. This is a direct market. I'm going to stick this over here so I can clean it off. That won't take but a couple minutes. It's Captain America 255, the special 40th anniversary issue. The living legend, thrills and chills more. Got a nice little Human Torch Hostess cupcakes ad in it. I guess that's Big Hair Girl, I don't know. That's what it looks like. Wouldn't that be an interesting character? Big Hair Girl! 256 from April 1981. And it has a Spider-Man Hostess Twinkies ad. Gene Colan does the art in this one, with several different inkers. Off-white pages. It just doesn't get much better. Unless it's, of course, Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby is my all-time favorite Captain America artist. No big surprise since he created the character. After that, it would probably be Sal Buscema and then John Byrne. And of course, anything Gene Colan does is great. Here's 258. Who's this artist? Mike Zeck. I like Mike Zeck, but not that crazy about his Captain America. Mike Zeck is a great artist, but I don't know. I just don't think he fit the character for Captain America. Of course, I'm probably touting sacrilege. Here's an advertisement for Superman and Spider-Man. I have that. I also have the Spider-Man and Superman. Those are treasury size. Someday I'll show them if I haven't already. Captain America number 260. That reminds me of Lex Luthor so much. 261. And the man called Nomad. Together again for the first time. What a redundant statement. $262. It's a nice Mike Zeck cover. You know what? I'm thinking it might not be Mike Zeck's art. It might be the inkers that were on him. Quick Draw Studios inker. So maybe it was just the inkers, because some of his art in the Captain Americas looked really great, and some of it looks like crap. And I know that he's fairly consistent as an artist, so it must be the inkers that are not doing the job they should be doing. It's 264, and this has the X-Men in it. And of course, Cap's battling Nazis. What is this, a baby Cap? And here we have first appearance of Sultan, I think. And of course, Spider-Man and Nick Fury are in this issue. And Captain Marvel selling Hostess Twinkies. Some of those Twinkies comics are better than the main stories. Mike Zeck and John Beatty. And you see, this looks so much better. Unfortunately, this has a missing corner that goes 3 or 4 pages in. Here's another copy of 265, and this isn't missing anything. 266, and I have 2 copies of that. 267. Introducing the Threat of Every Man. $268. There's a newsstand and a direct market copy of that. And this has the cat in it. Don't worry, Cap fans, you haven't picked up an issue of the Defenders by mistake. All will soon be revealed. And here's number 269, a direct market and a newsstand copy. And we're introducing Team America. And we're back to that lackluster inking. Oh, I have 3 copies. 2 direct market and 1 newsstand. And here's a couple of copies of Captain America number 270. Some off-white pages. And that's all the Captain Americas I'm going to show you today. I'll be back in a little while with some older comics that I recently picked up. Okay, time to show some new old comics. Huh? Old new comics? Old comics that are new to me. How's that sound? We're going to start with, this one isn't that old really. Time Warp number 2 from January 1980. Now some of you are going to think, wow, that's 40 years old, that's really old. Now, to me, it's still fairly new. Art by Joe Orlando, Steve Ditko, Gil Kane, Howard Chaykin, Michael Kaluta, Mike Nasser, Jerry Grandinetti, Don Newton, Dave Simmons, Romeo Tanghal, and John Salardo. And I probably butchered some of those names. Pretty nice copy, off-white pages, white to off-white pages. And I only ever had one of these, and I really liked it, and I was thinking, yeah, I want to get more of these. This is Gil Kane art, by the way. This looks like, this is Ditko. Yeah, good stuff. That's one of them. And then I've got also number 3 from March of 1980. Denny O'Neil story, Dick Giordano art. And this one has startling stories by Denny O'Neil, George Cashton, Arnold Drake, Mike W. Barr, James D. Mateus, Dan Mishkin, and Gary Kahn. I can't hardly wait to read these. And it's all science fiction stuff, which is kind of cool. They're not very expensive when you find them, but they're not easy to find either. Art by Steve Ditko, Mike Kaluta, Mike Nasser, Jerry Grandinetti, all of the other guys that we saw earlier. There's your Ditko art. And here's number 5. The beautiful Mike Kaluta cover. Actually, I think all of these are Kaluta covers, aren't they? Yep. They're all Kaluta covers. Very happy to pick these up. Next I've got, this is in Mylar already. Billy the Kid, number 56. This is not in that great a shape. It's fair to good. The cover is completely detached. That's one of the reasons why it's in Mylar. But I was happy to pick it up because I have trouble finding Charlton comics. Especially the ones that I want, like Billy the Kid. Here's number 107 of that same series. And this one is in really nice shape. I would rate this fine plus, maybe fine to very fine. It's in really nice shape. This is from 1974. This one I think was from 1966. And then here's 4-Color Comics number 919, Boots and Saddles. This is from June or July of 1958. I always like picking these up when I get a chance. The 4-color run. It's not a run that I'll probably ever complete, but it's kind of neat to get them. So, and then here's Mighty Marvel Western featuring Rawhide Kid. This is from the 70s. Let me take it out of the bag. I think 1974. It's in pretty nice shape. I'd probably rate it maybe a fine minus. Page color's good. Off-white. I like picking those up when I get a chance. Oh, that tells about the comic. They said fine condition. I wouldn't rate it that high. Maybe I'm a little too harsh sometimes. I don't know. And here's a Superman number 191. Maybe a very good minus. Cream pages. Spine roll that is going to be taken out. A little bit of dirt that I might decide to clean up. Looks to be complete. Here's Superman 335. It's a Bronze Age, but it's got Mixie on the cover, so you know. 1979. Kurt Swan art, and he is my absolute all-time favorite Superman artist, beating out all the others. Probably because he's the Superman artist I grew up with. I mean, yeah, I remember seeing Neil Adams Superman too, and I liked that, but it wasn't Kurt Swan. This is probably a very good minus. Now for the one that I'm really happy to get, and this is actually in a Mylar already, but I'm still going to take it out because it's a newer Mylar, a modern Mylar, and I keep all mine in the standard size. Trigger Twins #1. I have never ever seen this comic book. I didn't even know it existed. This is from March of 1973. It reprints All-Star Western 94, one of the stories from All-Star Western 94. Robert Kanigher art, or Robert Kanigher story with Ross Andru art. And here's Carmen Infantino art with the Kanigher story. So it's a reprint magazine, but I'm impressed. I like it a lot. Another Infantino art story. So if you're a big Infantino art fan, you might want to check out the old DC Westerns, because he did a lot of work with them before he ever did Flash. And here you can already see where he's starting to show movement and action in the panels. Not quite to the extent that he did in the Flash, but you see you have the movement lines, and that comes into play big in the Flash. So yeah. So overall, I'm happy with those. I got a lot of other stuff too, but I just decided to show you these. And the next thing I'll show you on this video will be the results of putting that Superboy cover back together and attaching, or that Adventure Comics cover back together and attaching it to the interior and doing a press on it. So we're going to have to wait a little while for that to be done, but it'll drop on Monday morning like always. Well, it's several hours later and I'm back. Before I show you the Adventure Comics, I'm going to show you what I did to the Captain America. That one that had the food or something on the back. I cleaned it off a little bit. Looks a little bit better. There's still a little tiny bit on there. I just couldn't get it quite off. But did that. Gave it a real quick press while I was putting the Adventure Comics back together. Turned out decent. Not great, but then it wasn't a great comic to begin with. And now for what you're waiting for. Adventure Comics 260. It looks a whole lot better than when I started. It's a whole lot cleaner. You can still see the stain, but it's a lot lighter. It used to be a kind of a dark brown. Now it's faded to almost nothing. I put the cover back together, reattached it, gave it a quick press. Did not fix this tear here, although I had intended to. So it's complete. There was a lot of water damage up here. It's pretty much gone now. I'm happy with the way it turned out. It's not perfect. It wasn't perfect to begin with, but I think it looks a whole lot better. Unfortunately, the whole process took it from a good minus to a fair to good. And the reason I say that is because the spine was split all the way down. I did repair it. It's a tape repair, so there'd be a decent chance that it might, if graded, get a blue label. However, I suspect that the cover is so clean now, they'd actually give it a purple label. There you go. My Adventure Comics 260 looks a little better than what it did, and the cover is a lot more supple than what it was. It used to be almost brittle, but I think actually soaking it the way I did might have helped it. I do not recommend you soak your comics in water. I do not recommend you take the covers off and soak them in water. I do not recommend you get water anywhere near your comic books. I've been experimenting with ways to clean comics for 20 to 30 years. If you're just starting out, don't try this at home. What you do need to try, though, is to make sure your hands are clean before you handle your comic books, before you handle your collectibles. Wash your hands. It's good for your comics. It's good for your collectibles. It's good for your health. And we'll see you next video. Bye.